Hi, welcome to the new video. I am Rohit Desai, co-founder of JB Experts. Today we are going to discuss on sheep imports to the Indian markets. So when you're planning to import sheep or goat to the Indian market, the first rule here is it's not freely importable. If you are importing sheep or goat to the Indian market, the only way you can do it is for the purpose, if you are breeding, genetics or research purpose, you can import it. Or else, if you are just getting the products to slaughter it and supply to the Indian market, no, you cannot do it. Because the main intention of the sheep imports or any breeds or any kind of a varieties which is not available in Indian market is only to support the farmers who can get an extra income apart from their agricultural income. If they can just manage this farm part also, they can still make some more extra money. That is what they are looking at. But if you are getting the materials just from import and then you are slaughtering it and selling it in the market and become a competitor or a better competitor than the current pricing, then it is really a affecting thing for the farmers. So that is not what Indian government wants you to do it. So if you are importing, no problem, you take the permission and import it, but you cannot slaughter the one which you have got it for breeding purpose. You need to multiply it, you need to take the breed and then you can later slaughter it and send it once the number of the sheep or the goats grows, right? So it is high value, high cost, it's a high investment first of all, then comes the value, it's a good business to work with. So here comes the HS code and the tariff. So the HSN code maybe differs when you check it on the Google, maybe the HSN code may be reflecting some other number, but one thing you need to be very sure for sheep, for breeding purpose, this is the perfect HS code. You cannot shuffle the HS code here because if you do it, tomorrow your tariff maybe varies and later you may be scrutinized for it and you may need to pay extra penalties just for a wrong HS code. That would be also possible. Just make sure you get this HS code right, which is 01041010. That's a perfect HS code for your ship if you are importing it. Importing or exporting, both the HS codes are going to be the same. Just the thing is, the purpose is going to be the breeding purpose. You cannot import for anything else. See, me and you are not in something kind of a R&D department where we are going to do some research where we see that, okay, the sheep heart is going to be, can be used for human or not. We are not doing that kind of a biological research, right? So we are just doing a basic business, getting the sheep, getting it breeded, multiplying the ships and then selling it to the market. That's all what we are in and that's what we want to focus on. So the first thing here is, one is the HS code is perfect. Now I got it. Now my purpose of business is going to be the breeding thing. So customs and anyone who wants to get into approval, they get to know what is the product and why are you getting this material. The second thing is, under the most preferred nations, I have taken the example of Australia. You can pick any country whoever has been permitted to get the ships from. So what I say is, in the most preferred nation tariff, it's 30%. We also have a free trade agreement with Australia, but there is no preference here. You need to pay the full tariff of 30%. There is no exemptions. Either you pick free trade agreement or a certificate of origin preferentials, doesn't matter. You need to pay the full tariff. This is the best example for you to understand. Many people get happy about, okay, there are free trade agreements happening with the UK, France, Europe, some other countries. Yes, it could be. But the reason for you to be happy or unhappy is only because if your HS code is in that agreement, only then you get exemptions or there is no exemptions at all. So look at here, if you have India and Australia has a free trade agreement, but this HS code is not a part of that agreement, so this doesn't get any kind of exemptions here. So the 30%, 100 rupees is the ship cost, 30% is what you need to pay. That's for sure. Then comes the standard protocols, sanitary, pathosanitary, technical trade barriers. These are all something that compliances has to be met mandatorily, because even in the free trade agreement, you get a compliances exemptions also. That is also not here. So you have to pay the full pay for here. Okay. So then comes the import permissions, because this product is not prohibited, but it's restricted. Restricted materials with the permission, you can still get it. Prohibited, no one can do it. Okay. So here, when you're planning to get the material from other country for a breeding purpose to Indian market, you can get the permission to import those products. So sanitary import permit, so SIP, Department of Animal Husbandry, that is where you need to get an approval from. Then you need to apply to DGFT to get advance authorizations to import the material. So once you are able to import the materials, then you can take it and then breed it. Okay, so pre-export origin country, what the Australian farm has to do is they have to give you the veterinary health certificate, then the vaccine and the disease-free certificates. Depends on what kind of a varieties is it, what kind of a breed is it, and what are the compliances that to be managed. So these are all the diseases that may be a common thing. So these are the certificates that is mandatory to say that, okay, these are all properly healthy conditions. There is no problem with these breeds. Okay, that is the responsibility of the farm where you're procuring the material from. Just make sure this has been properly taken care. So then comes the quarantine. They also have to quarantine for 30 days, plus or minus typically, plus or minus 30 days. So then it has to be shipped through air, not by sea, because sea, it takes a longer time, and seasickness, and it could be various trouble, and feeding is one of the bigger problems. So due to the transit timing, it is always mortality rates will be bit on a higher side. So what is preferred is send it by air, which reaches faster, which can be easily taken care, and moreover that is also follows the rules of IATA, which is if you see in India, we what do you call, the space is for 2, but we fill up with 10. You have seen this on the road. We see this ship movements and everything, where everything is so clumsy. They packed it so tightly, even the neck couldn't be moved. But here the rules are something like the ship which is being transported from one country to another, it has to have a proper space to turn around, to sit, stand, walk. This is something mandatory rules as the set rules by the regulatories. So you need to follow that, because you cannot go and dictate to the airline saying that, okay, this is how you need to pack it, or you need to how much ships can be put into one crate. This is not your business. So you need to tell the number of it. They will tell you the cost. If you're okay with it, then book it. Okay. So in this business, when you are entering into breeding or especially importing live animals, every airline doesn't operate doesn't allow, or they don't have that much of freights to carry your live animals. Because comparing to the passengers, if you are dropping a box with a FedEx or a DHL, it goes in a box which is just below the belly of your airline, where passengers are sitting on the top, luggages have gotten, and there is left out space where they put all your cargo boxes, which is from FedEx, DHL, post office, whatever the boxes you are sending out, or even the mobile phones, laptops, sort of that. But when it comes to live animals, you cannot do it, because these are all carries the diseases. Probably the possibility is a bit on a higher side, so they don't want to see. COVID is the best example, if I have to say. We don't know what is the origin, but at the end of the day, it has been origin of China, but we are not sure from which animal. So there are possibilities of that kind of a situation comes again. When you club this animals, humans, and then COVID kind of a situation, the whole world lockdown. So that is not something which has been appreciated. So what they do is, as far as luggages, it can go with the human passengers, which is a passenger plane, like your basically any plane. But when it comes to these kind of a live animals, horse, camel, goat, sheep, pigs, any sort of that, then these are something managed with the particular airlines who has a particular cargo freight for the live animals. So that could be Emirates, Qatar, Air Cargo. So you can find those people, find those airlines, and you can book with them. So it could be again preferred on species, age, weight, and crate dimensions. So it depends on what is the size, what is that you can send, and if you are buying it from a proper like location which is popular for that, and there are freights which is already moving, so there will be ready freights available. But in many locations, if you are asking something unique demand where the planes are not there, then you need to ship the material to some other locations, then from there you need to ship it to India, and then you need to get it. So for example, what I'm doing here is I'm taking Bangalore as an example, but in a normal situations, you need to book around. For a normal cargo, you can book it today, the shipment can ship it tomorrow. But with live animals, it's something like you need to pre-book like at least a week or 3 days before to manage the shipments. And if it's a frequent traveling, or else it's once in a while, then it's going to be a problem. So you need to think of that. So arrival in Bangalore. So I'm taking Bangalore as a location because Bangalore has the airport, where cargo is coming in, and we can easily import the ships and goods here. But you need to check what exactly the port you're going to use. Based on that, you can plan it accordingly. So here, the clearance at AQCS Bangalore. So that's a quarantine center. Once you get the cargo, it isn't like, okay, you pay all your duties and you get the relief or you get your material. No. Here, the quarantine is done in Australia for a purpose, and now once you get the material here, again you have to quarantine for 30 plus days. So it's like you import it today and you get the material tomorrow. No. Once your cargo is reached, they will make sure the AQCS people, it's a quarantine center, it's a government operated, they have a facility, they will put all your ships and goods into there, and they give all the treatment, they will do the swab test, they will do all the testings to make sure that it doesn't have any kind of a contamination, or is it all disease free. It has any disease, either they will reject the material or either they will discard it. So that is one part of it. Okay. So if it survives the quarantine of 30 plus days, and then they do the retesting, and if it's in perfect health, then it is clear for you to carry it out. Okay. So customs and clearances, normally this is not something that you do it, or either the freight booking you do it. No, you don't do it. It's a freight forwarder who does it for you, even the booking and the clearances part. So enter the bill of entry. It's not something that you do it on an immediate basis, but still you do it later once your materials are getting cleared. Then your SIP, health certificate, airway bill, these are something that you manage, and then you pay 30% duty, and plus you need to pay the handling fees. It could be the quarantine fees, the transportation from airport to the quarantine center, then picking up from the quarantine center. These are all the the handling fees that has to be paid. And if something can go wrong anytime, okay, it can go wrong. It can it can be dead in the plane. It can be dead in the quarantine center. It's all your loss. The government has nothing to do with it. So be sure about it. Okay. When you're getting this, they don't do anything intentionally, but due to disease, and these are the animals which are not meant to fly. Right? These are all the animals which are just to walk around, have food and all of it. But yeah, we are the people who wants the variety, so we are importing it. And when we are importing something and they are not meant to fly and all of it, there is a sickness, air sickness or fly sickness, or then later once they are here, they may not get adjusted with the climate. So everything can go wrong. But what I suggest you is, when you're planning, the quarantine center will take care of it. Once everything is clear, if it's disease free, then you are going to get it released, and you can take to your breeding center, take a vet who's an animal doctor basically. So the veterinaries will help you out to understanding, giving them medicines, then taking care of it, so that once the material has come, it doesn't infect the other thing. So keep it separately. Again, you need to do quarantine for some time for your benefits. There is no set rules for it. But once you do it, then again start the breeding with the livestock, then see what's the results coming in. And if it's working well, then yeah, do it in a good batches, right? So how much is going to cost me? What is the cost of here? So here, when you're planning to import a ship from Australia to India, so basically the cost, even you buy it in India, maybe 10,000 or 15,000 lesser or more. So 30,000 is the price what we can analyze. But the pre-quarantine, that's not the only pay what you're doing it, right? So in India, if you go, you buy the goat or ship, then you come home, that's all the pay what you going to pay. But here, when you're buying it from Australia, you need to have a pre-export quarantine. So there is a quarantine that the vet cost. So that is going to cost you somewhere around 20-25,000. Then comes the freight, because the airline has to carry the ship and goods for you. So that is going to be another 60-70,000. Then the quarantine in India, again you need to pay 30% duty on it. So that is again 25-30,000. Then all put together, per ship, it's going to cost you somewhere between 1 lakh to 2 lakhs. In between that depends on where you're getting it from, which airlines, how long the quarantine is required, what is the disease that is being carried, or is there any sort of medicines that is being paid. And animal medicines are not so cheap also, right? So all put together, this is the cost which is need to be paid, and that is something is all on you, right? Then you multiply it by number of ships, what you're getting it here. See, it could be in the combinations of 10:4, 10 females, 4 males, or it's like 1:1 ratio, 1:4 ratio, or 1:10 ratio, or 25 batches like 5 males, 20 females, something like that. That's again, please check with your vet and how confident he is on the breeding process. So if you can help with that, you get our analysis number, then plan it accordingly, because 30-40 lakhs is a huge number. Even if you get 1 or 2 ships, 1 or 2 goats, because normally people have done it, they have booked 1 male and 1 female. By the time it has reached to the quarantine center, one was off in the plane itself, off in the sense it was dead. By the time the female which has landed to the Indian port, then we got it to the quarantine center, it collapsed within 3 days. So both are gone. So please do not do this way, because mortality rate is something that is common. You need to understand what breed and where it's coming from, or from which climate aside, because Indian climate is not suitable for every kind of a breed. So you need to see that, okay, if it's coming from too hot, it's not too cold here, or if it's too cold there and then too hot here. So just make sure it's you get it into a right condition so that it's being protected properly, and you need to provide the environment in the same sense. So that is something you need to let know. And moreover, quarantine center will always have a set of room temperatures. You need to check which has a good facility, then work with them and closely, and then you can plan it accordingly, right? So then comes the key points. You need to quarantine, that's compulsory in India. AQCS is the department which is a part of animal husbandry. They will take care for you. No need to worry on that. Sanitary permits, that's non-negotiable. You have to follow all the rules and regulations. Know where you can get the meat, get the ships and slaughter it here and send it to the market. Not possible. Do not try it, because completely that's against to the rules. You need to do the breeding purpose. That's the only thing what you're getting it here. You cannot slaughter it. Okay. Beef productions, so you cannot, as I said, like not permitted. Unauthorized consignments without informing government, getting some shipments, paying someone, get it shipped already, and then later once the products are here, it will be either sent it back, or either it will be put on a penalty, or they will discard it. Discard it means they'll kill it off. Okay. So at the conclusion, please import, when you're looking for a breeding purpose, you need to get the goat and ships which you are planning for the business purpose. Please plan it in such a way that it's coming from a legit farm which is meant for breeding purpose, because normally what happens here is due to unethical practices, the breeding doesn't go through properly. So the purpose what you bought those ships to Indian market, that is not fulfilled. Your money is lost here, because 1 to 2 lakhs spending on goats and ship, and later you get to see that, okay, there is no conceiving happening, the breeding is not happening, then it's no point of the running the business. So look into that and pick it from the right farms who has the proven materials, who can promise you on the medicines, the weight operations, the climate, the guidance, everything is properly given on time to time basis, and they support in all the next breed level until you have the new one, the younger one. Till then they are going to support you. That is all something that you need to take care of it. Okay. So if it's not something that, okay, they have some kind of a treatment goes on, they just don't get breeding properly. So if that, these are all the hard practices, but still that happens in the market. I'm very much aware of it. So these are all the issues that you need to rectify. And if you need any help or any consultations from either from animal husbandry or from us on export import or logistics or any compliances, please give us a call. I'll drop a number in the description. You can give us a call back there, and you can book a paid consultations. You can visit us in the Bangalore office, or we can do it online if you're far away from Bangalore. Okay. So if you are already watching this, you are already a member, then I would prefer you, if you have any questions, please drop into a comment box. I will surely actively reply back to your comments, and then yeah, we can go ahead from there. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please give us a call. We can help you with that. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. Hope this has added some value. And if you feel so, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Catch you up in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.